Okay, so we're going to start with the knit bathing suit bottom. You just need one of these because this is the front and the back. You're going to need 2 pieces of knit fabric for the leg bindings, and you're going to need a waistband, also knit, stretchy. This pattern piece will not work with woven. You won't even be able to get it on the dowel. So for woven, you have to use the short pattern, which we'll do later. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bathing suit bottom piece and we're going to fold our leg strips in half. And we're going to pin them or clip. You can clip them. Alright, these will be longer, a little longer than what you need. And I did that so you have something to hold on to while you're sewing this. Okay, so that's what it should look like from the other side. I'm going to serge mine, so I'm just going to bring it to the serger and serge the edge. If you don't have a serger, you can do a zigzag stitch or an overcast stitch on your sewing machine. And we're going to do the same thing with the other leg band for this side. Okay. So I'm going to go serge that on and I'll be right back. Okay, so those are serged on. Now if you bring it over to your sewing machine, you can do a top stitch to hold that seam down. You don't have to. I think I'm going to top stitch both of these leg seams down. Okay, so I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's top stitched. I just think it makes it look neater. You don't have to top stitch it though. So the next thing you're going to do is put the sides together. And I should also say that if you're serging these, do not use pins, or make sure you pull the pins out before your serger gets to the pins, because it will break your needles and the needles will go flying. And you can just cut off these extra bits. I just leave that there. Sometimes maybe your seam isn't exactly 1/4 of an inch or whatever. I just like to have something to hold on to while I'm serging it. Okay, and now we're just going to serge or sew up the side seams here. Alright. I serge the sides of those. Okay, so the last thing left is to add the waistband. So we're going to just fold this in half and right sides together, and I'm just going to go serge the short end of the waistband. You can sew it zigzag or an overcast stitch. I'm going to serge mine, so I'll do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have a loop and we're going to fold it with the seam on the inside in half. Now we're going to add it to our pants. I like to put the seam in the back. You could put the seam on the side. It doesn't matter where you put it. I like to put it in the back, and the back is going to be the longer piece of the front. Alright, so right sides together, and we're going to pin on this. going to find the center of the front, and you could do that by pulling that like that. Alright, and then you need the front center, match up the side seams, and here is the front center. Okay, and now you can find the center again by matching up the front and the back. You don't really even need to do that, but you can do that, and you can pin to the side seam here. The same on this side. Okay, now either while you're sewing or you're serging, you're just gonna stretch that just slightly and serge or sew that on. Okay, make sure if you're serging, make sure you take out the pins before you go over them because they will break your serger. Alright, so I'm going to go serge that on and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, these do not need elastic because the knit is stretchy, and this is on Our Generation Valentina. Alright, so now we're going to make the top.